For most of human history, extreme wealth was a closed circle. You didn't build a fortune, you were born into it. Kings, queens, and feudal lords hoarded the world's resources, locking the gates to the treasury behind walls of birthright and bloodlines. Then a new kind of individual emerged, a person born with nothing who managed to capture a massive share of the world's wealth. These figures built fortunes from the ground up by dismantling and rebuilding entire industries. We are going to look at 10 specific individuals who broke the ancient rules of money. Astronomical wealth in this era grew from an idea, an unseen opportunity, and the leverage to build something entirely new. Tracing their exact paths reveals exactly how our global economy transformed. We went from a world that traded in raw, physical dirt to a modern system driven by pure imagination. In the earliest days of modern capitalism, the rules were aggressively tangible. If you wanted to build wealth, you had to extract heavy materials from the earth and drag them across hostile terrain. John Jacob Astor built the first prominent American fortune by dominating the fur trade. He understood that whoever controlled the physical extraction of a high-demand resource dictated the terms for everyone else. Stephen Girard applied this to shipping, while Cornelius Vanderbilt laid down tracks. Vanderbilt started with a single ferry and systematically bought out competitors until he controlled the nation's railroads. This map illustrates the core strategy of early industrial titans. Control the geographic choke points, and you control the money. By capturing bottlenecks where rivers met rails, Vanderbilt ensured every piece of commerce had to pay a toll. Extreme wealth in the 19th century was about securing absolute ownership over the foundational infrastructure that every other citizen relied on to survive. Eventually, the ceiling for wealth creation hit the physical limits of geography. The next generation of titans realized they couldn't just move materials, they had to reinvent the absolute speed and scale at which things were made. John D. Rockefeller and Andrew Carnegie focused their efforts on flawless, system-wide efficiency within the oil and steel industries. By standardizing every step of the refining and smelting processes, they stripped away waste. They built sprawling, synchronized industrial systems capable of generating output on a scale no human had ever seen. Henry Ford applied this industrial precision to a consumer problem. By perfecting the moving assembly line, he removed the massive labor costs that had made automobiles a luxury for only the elite. This chart shows the mechanic behind their growth: economies of scale. As the volume of production climbs, the cost to produce every individual unit begins to drop. These industrialists proved that immense wealth is generated by lowering costs so effectively that you can solve a problem for millions of people rather than catering to a wealthy few. By the 20th century, the heavy lifting was largely complete. The physical limits of land and heavy industry were no longer the primary barriers to wealth. Nathan Mayer Rothschild anticipated this shift. He built a European financial empire by securing the fastest possible network of couriers. He weaponized information, acting on news of wars and treaties hours before his competitors could react. Madam C.J. Walker proved that insight could shatter societal barriers. Born into an era of extreme oppression, she built a fortune by identifying an unserved niche demographic and applying creative, hyper-focused branding. Walt Disney took the intangible concept even further. He sat at a drawing board, sketched a mouse, and turned pure storytelling into a highly scalable, multi-million-dollar asset class. Modern entrepreneurs like Elon Musk derive their wealth from high-risk wagers on the future of electric transport, satellite networks, and artificial intelligence. We have decoupled wealth creation from physical raw materials. The most valuable empires today are forged entirely in the human mind. The vehicles for accumulating capital constantly mutate, from beaver pelts to locomotives to steel mills to animation and finally to rockets. But beneath the surface, the internal architecture of a titan remains identical. You have to identify an opportunity before anyone else sees it, take on massive risk, and build a system that scales far beyond your own labor. The definition of a valuable asset has detached from physical geography. Today, a single person with a laptop can write lines of code that reach 1 billion users, making the path to extreme wealth accessible to anyone with an internet connection. You no longer need to command a fleet of ships or finance a sprawling steel mill. You only require a scalable idea and the absolute grit required to execute it. The evolution of the millionaire mirrors human progress itself. The only question left is what the next massive economic leap will be, and who will be the one to solve it.